Welcome. Now, each and every one of us is a consumer. And more than ever, organisations are having to understand what we want, when and where, in order to compete for our money and grow their business. Increasingly, that means not only providing the products and services we need better, faster and more creatively, but doing so in a way that meets our expectations around ethics and responsibility. As all businesses target this responsible growth, they may find ideas and inspiration in some unexpected places. Today, we're discussing what business can learn from health and fitness. We'll discuss the power of innovation and the importance of putting the customer, their goals, ambitions, and passions at the heart of what you do. And I'll be discussing these topics with Kat McCusker, PwC UK Partner for Responsible Growth, Darren Hardman, VP and General Manager at Amazon Web Services UK and Ireland, and Sami Adami, COO and co-founder of Fit. Well, I'm really excited to talk to you all. I'm going to start with you, Sami, first. I think we all know that it's obvious that business wants to pursue growth, but I think now it's all about responsible growth, isn't it?
For me, it's quite a simple definition of responsible growth when I apply it to Fit. I think that if you can genuinely say that the more your customers use your product and service, that is better for their daily lives, and if it's better for their physical and mental health, then that is responsible growth. And if all of the product development decisions that you take are to hit our mission statement, which is to make fitness a habit for everybody, then again, that's going to improve people's daily lives. So for me, that's responsible growth, and that's what we do at Fit.
Yeah, responsible growth is growth, but not at all costs. You have to think about the life cycle of a business and how you operate and make sure that all the stakeholders great value from the relationships that are built and the transactions that happen.
I mean, I think the whole role of how we're looking to work with customers has fundamentally changed. It's now gone from being about what the stakeholders once wanted and the shareholders being the drivers of profit to really starting to think about what is that more meaningful relationship we're looking to have. We're especially looking at that not just across customers as consumers, but also what that means for citizens, students, people in the public sector, as well as across the different reach of place and purpose as well. Businesses had to really focus on their purpose and their societal impact, and people are really looking for that in the line of responsible growth. And it's no longer just about profit. It's about that whole ecosystem and how they're going to deliver on that.
But is it tricky then to keep a personalised experience unique when demands are changing, people want different things and you have to evolve? How do you do that in your business, Sami?
Yeah, Fit is a digital-first, interactive home workout solution. The key element in that is the interactive piece. When we first founded the business 4.5 years ago, we realised that most gyms and most exercise centres didn't have really a relationship with their customer. They would check in, go and do their workout and check out. You just did not know what they were doing in that 1 hour and that 2 hours. So the interactive piece, with wearables, I think a third of the UK market, well, a third of the UK population, a third of the US population have wearables, whether it's Fitbits, Apple Watches, chest straps. And using that data is absolutely integral to personalising that service.
And the research does say that consumers are much more willing to give over their data if you're going to give them back a very personalized service. The key there is the ethics of how you hold that data. And actually, it's not the tools and the systems that manage ethics, it's the individuals, the leaders within organizations. And so having a code of conduct around ethical use of the data is just really, really important to give the confidence to consumers. And actually, I think that builds loyalty.
And do you think business has really had to sit up and think about this?
Absolutely. I mean, we're all very, very aware of the cookie apocalypse that's coming when we're already seeing and experience it with a lot of our apps on our phone when they're asking you, would you like to be tracked or not tracked, and given that permission. And just a few things building off what's just been said was how you use data is really, really important. And it's not about what you do with it, it's why you're doing it. So historically, we use data just to push and push more from a consumption perspective. Now linked to a lot of the learnings we've had out of health and fitness, we saw in the last 5 years that over 59% of people have embarked on some form of healthy lifestyle, be that diet. 29% of that was from March 2020. So, this is how people are able to consume things through multiple different barriers and data. And the data also needs to be thought about in regards to GDPR. Even within GDPR, you can do some fantastic insights and analytics around data, but also thinking about that from a societal perspective. Those from disadvantaged backgrounds, those who may not have access to the super fast broadband in regards to consuming some of the great technologies that are out there, but also looking at the disparity and the levelling up agenda, how the data and insights are being used to affect those citizens and customers as well.
Well, with this huge focus on the customer, have we put the consumer in a position of power? Are they in control? Are they dictating how things are moving forward?
Yeah, I think so. I think the consumer's been in control for a long time. If you go back 20 years, you look at the Fortune 500 top companies, only half of those actually exist. And it's because they failed to respond to their customer fast enough. They failed to reinvent their services or their offering, and other disruptors have come in and taken their place. And so, it's at the core of what we do at AWS every day. Is very much focused on the customer, obsessing about their needs, listening to them, making sure we can look round corners so we can predict what they might want for the future.
And how does this fit in with health and fitness for you, Sammy?
Again, I think it comes down to the mission of what you're trying to achieve. I think, look, most people, they want to improve their bodies, they want to improve their minds, and it's really, really hard. There are lots and lots of quick fixes out there. I mean, we've all seen it: 6-week abs, 8-week abs, 2-week abs, drink this tea, you're going to feel great. The reality is that they're lies, essentially. I mean, you're trying to get someone to buy a product once, then buy it again. And we all know that fitness takes time, it takes commitment, and it's hard. And at Fit, we're trying to solve a problem, which is to make it easier for people. We're trying to make people build healthy habits, and we're trying to make fitness part of their lifestyle. And to do that, you've got to be truthful. You've got to take people on that journey. You can't just say, look, you're going to get there in 6 weeks.
There's 6 key levers that at any time the businesses need to be pulling on. And they go from experience to marketing to sales, to the service you provide, pricing, of course, will be there, and innovation. And it's really understanding at any one time which levers do you as an organisation, be that some of the stuff that Sammy's saying with Fit, do you need to pull on different elements of those, to that being with how we're looking at things in healthcare, with what the analytics tell us, but actually what does that person need for an experience to be really life-changing for them, and how we help put them on that journey.
I think customer expectations are continuing to increase, I think, day in, day out. I mean, the expectations of you're scrolling, you look at something for 3 seconds, and when you first ordered an Uber, probably you're happy to wait 10 minutes, and now you probably want to wait 2. I think customer expectations are growing. I think the digitization of services is growing. I think, sustainability and ethics, this is growing. I think customers expect more from the companies that they engage with all the time. I think that's moving at a huge pace. I think we have to, as business, we need to innovate. We need to look at trends. I think it's also, we can't just say, this is what we're doing today, that's going to be enough. We have to constantly improve. We have to constantly learn. We have to constantly communicate. So I know that we talked about data quite a bit, but I think the communication with customers and the actual conversations, whether that's, via social media, through your customer success team, or inviting customers in and communicating with your business, I think these are integral to building long-term sustainable businesses.
But do you think the pandemic has accelerated these trends?
Absolutely. Organisations had been historically quite inward-looking, and they felt that the customers were privileged to get to engage with them with certain brands, from the luxury brands right down to what we've seen with some of the fast fashion retailers. Now people are very much more ethically and socially aware of what they want.
The pandemic has no question accelerated the digital transformation across every industry and applied to every conceivable use case. It's been really apparent from the industry that I'm in and the customers that I'm supporting. In fact, we didn't want to just take the anecdotal. We surveyed 10,000 of our C-level customers over the last 6 months, and we found that actually the digital transformation has been accelerated by about 2 years and 5 months on average, which is astounding. And you see it because customers, consumers, end users, their demands changed dramatically overnight with the pandemic. And organizations had to pivot quickly to release new services or to change and evolve the services they had. Now, obviously, from a cloud perspective, with the flexibility, the agility, the scale up and scale down capacity that cloud technology gives you, we saw that with our customers who had invested in the cloud. They were able to do that quickly.
Yeah, it's almost like adapt, innovate, or die in a sense. It's really, I think people were literally overnight were thrust into this, okay, what are we going to do? Everyone's expecting us to be available in their homes tomorrow. You know, we identified that trend in sort of 2017. The pandemic's just basically accelerated at such lightning pace what customers expect, but also it's brought forward the inevitable. So it's just brought forward the fact that, you know, you could work out at home and you can get a great experience. We were one of the early ones in that, and then all the other gyms and services are like, we need to do this as well. And customers went, actually, this is all right. I can get I think that was one of the big things as well. The quality of the service that you can get in your home or on your phone was way, way better than most people expected. I think that's really that's a big shift for me, is that I think the quality of the service way exceeded people's expectations. Then again, it's created long-term customers.
It's no question, Fit, you've helped disrupt an industry, and we've seen this whole kind of plethora of new digital disruptors enter the market and put pressure on legacy providers. And, you know, there's been a lot of reasons for that. You know, consumers have just demanded something different. A pandemic has come that has created enforced a new set of demands. But a lot of them are actually long-term demands that have just been kind of coming and appearing and putting pressure on the traditional models. And why we see a lot of these new digital disruptors appearing is because the cloud is it's an amazingly low barrier to entry. So if you want to stand up a new service and have access to all this data, all this technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, historically you would need to buy a data center, buy a whole team of people, put millions of pounds worth of infrastructure and software in there. Now you can turn it on. With the cloud, you can experiment, you can fail fast. If one particular customer offer isn't working, you fail fast, you come out, it's cost little, you spin up a new idea. And that's why reinvention and innovation is really important, because it's the digital disruptors like Fit that are bringing that innovation to the market and putting pressure on other business models.
It's actually driven the conversation that of reasons we cannot change in so many industries, and particularly, you know, in a lot of work I do in public sector across education and local authorities and central government, reasons why we can't suddenly became within 48 hours we had to. So it almost took the conversation 2 years ahead of itself. And now we've gone from hybrid to high flex working, and how that's going to work and how we're going to be moving forward. You know, again, that whole role of ensuring that the customer is at the centre, that's going to be really key.
And that really resonates. I've seen this new confident set of enterprises that have proved to themselves they can be agile, they can be flexible, they can create, innovate, experiment, and push out new services to their customers, to their users, in a way that I don't think they ever imagined they could. And that's one of the positives that we've seen come out of this pandemic.
Darren, Kat, Sammy, thank you so much. This has been a brilliant discussion, and I'd like to thank our guests for sharing so many fantastic insights and ideas. And if you found this interesting, please do also watch the other episodes in this series, exploring how business challenges are better solved together.